They've gone final in Buffalo, and it's the Bills playing on 31-17. They top the Steelers. Play of the game right here. The second longest touchdown run by a quarterback in postseason history. Josh Allen from 52 yards. Creating some space between the Steelers and Bills, a space that Pittsburgh was able to close for a moment, got the lead down to 7, but in the end, Buffalo proved to be too much, and we are now set up for Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Part 3 in the playoffs. This time, it'll come in Orchard Park as Mahomes is set to play football on the road in the postseason for the first time in his already decorated career. Allen getting it done on the ground, 74 yards, another 203 through the air, 4 total touchdowns for the leader of the pack for the Buffalo Bills. Postgame on HQ is presented by Ring. Joe Musso alongside the consummate professional, I will first say. Bryant McFadden joining us, the two-time champion as a Pittsburgh Steeler. B-Mac, we will offer plenty of runway here for you to voice some of your concerns and what you saw on Pittsburgh's side, but I want to start with Buffalo because it's been a team, like Tony said on the broadcast, playing playoff football going on 6 weeks now. How did you see that urgency rear its head in this game?
I mean, basically where they left off in the regular season, they picked up in postseason play. You talked about the Buffalo Bills being one of the hottest teams in the National Football League. Remember, the last time they took a loss, November the 26th. Overtime loss to the Philadelphia Eagles. And remember, they also had opportunity of winning that ball game, but a communication issue between quarterback Josh Allen and Gabe Davis that led to an opportunity for Philly to win that ball game. But they went off to win 5 straight. You look at some of the wins in that 5-game stretch. 3 teams that were playoff caliber teams. Kansas City on the road, Dallas Cowboys at home in the crib, and then, of course, the final week of the season against the Miami Dolphins. So they've been in desperation mode. It's safe to say over the last 5 weeks, March Madness type of vibe. You win, you keep going, you lose, and you go home. And we saw the same sense of urgency that we saw in the latter part of the regular season take place against the Pittsburgh Steelers tonight.
Now, for the 4th consecutive season, it will be Buffalo playing into the divisional round, trying to break through that ceiling that we did see them shatter when they made it to the AFC title game back in 2020. But it's going to be Mahomes, it's going to be Allen, and we know that means it's going to be good, Mac. As you look at this Buffalo team, it wasn't the cleanest football game, but they get the job done. Josh Allen, anytime his number was called, effective and answered. To have that type of quarterback leading the way, and when you see the foil of that on the other side, a type of quarterback that maybe you couldn't count on in that realm, you got to feel good moving forward with Josh Allen.
No question, because Josh Allen is the ultimate athlete that plays the quarterback position. He's an outstanding runner, a super accurate quarterback when he's in his bag, not to mention the arm strength. So when he's playing the type of football that he played today, no turnovers, they have more than a fighting chance with Josh Allen.
Surely they do. Let's take a look at our matchups now set, as we will get the Chiefs and the Bills on CBS. Not going to want to miss Part 3 of the best story being told in postseason football. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen on the same field, and this time that field is in Orchard Park. And for more, we get you out to that very stadium. The lead voice of the NFL on CBS, Tony Romo, joining us now, taking up residency in Orchard Park as of late. We promise there's an outbound with your name on it coming up soon here, Tony. But I want to read something from the record for you. You never know. They could get way up there. They could be playing at home if they win out. That was 7-6 after the win over the Chiefs. Nostradamus standing amongst us right now. What did you see then, Tony, and how has that evolved to what you saw here on Monday?
Well, what I saw was when they made the coordinator change, the biggest thing was the commitment to the run and just, I know this defensive system. I know how hard it is to go against what Sean McDermott did. And they have a plethora of guys who, attack the quarterback. And, to me, it was one of those where this football team is complete on both sides of the ball. And they win in the trenches. And you have Josh Allen. So they were giving away games earlier. People forget sometimes that they had over 100-point differential around that time, and they were like 6-6. That's like maybe the only time in NFL history. So to me, it was get the game tighter offensively. Like, quit putting us in situations where we have to read 7 things and take forever. Just get the ball out of his hands, run the football with Cook. He's exceptional. And trust the big guys inside. They're better than people realize. And I think they did that. And I started to see that shift take place in those 2 weeks. And I said, watch out, league. This team is for real.
Yeah, it's a more physical brand we're seeing right now. They have not lost since you uttered those words, Tony. Let's get to the matchup in a moment here, but maybe a final thought first on the season that was for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Mike Tomlin always going to squeeze every single ounce of talent out of a team that he can. But when you see a premier quarterback in Josh Allen opposite a team that really just spun the quarterback wheel time and again, do you feel like the answer at the quarterback position for Pittsburgh moving forward is currently in that building?
Maybe. I mean, the biggest thing is it's always going to be one of those things where we're trying to always allocate our resources to bring in someone and improve our talent level every offseason. There's turnover in the NFL. Every team has it. To me, though, you saw you could win. The biggest reason was because they got under center and they ran the football, and Mason Rudolph protected the football, and they just made the game simple. They have a dominant defense. Listen, T.J. Watt is a huge difference when he's not out there. They're now 1-11 since he's been drafted when he doesn't play. And he's a game wrecker. I mean, this is like, you're not saying Lawrence Taylor, but you're saying this guy's approaching being a guy that is like generational. And I think that really hurt them today. And Josh he wasn't affected near as much as he probably would have been if he's out there. But their future is bright on defense. They had a great draft last year. 3 young studs, on defense that played well. They're only going to improve. But offensively, this O-line is also there, and they have weapons outside. They got to figure out the quarterback position. If they do, and they have someone who can actually play at a Pro Bowl type level, this team will be very difficult to beat next year and in the years to come.
Yeah, last few weeks, Mike Tomlin said we're riding the hot hand. They rode that hand further than some thought they might make it this season. We're on to it. We're going to get it again. Mahomes, Allen, on the very field, you're looking down to the 50-yard line. How does the setting inform what you expect to see next week?
Well, I think this is what it's hard to see on television, but these quarterbacks separate in environments like this. We saw it all those years with Tom Brady. If you can spin the football and you have a big arm, I don't think people realized how good Tom Brady was in these conditions. The ball spun perfectly, and it was almost like he made himself even better because it's difficult. A lot of quarterbacks don't even make throws they would make at different times of the year. They look at it and they're like, that ball's not going to be able to quite get there with people around me. Not the top quarterbacks in the NFL. Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, these two guys have the ability to put their team on their back and separate from other quarterbacks in these environments. So next week, this is a very even game in a lot of ways, and it's going to be a blast calling it.
Maybe we say the travel ban has been lifted for Patrick Mahomes, who's set to play postseason football on the road for the first time in his career. Tony Romo, it's always a blast. Crazy. We'll see you next week, my friend.
Thanks, guys.
You know what? This year, you can follow the road to Las Vegas and catch every round of the NFL playoffs on CBS through Super Bowl 58. All streaming live on Paramount+. Plenty more coming on HQ. Closing thoughts for a Pittsburgh Steelers season. More on the win from Buffalo and full highlights up next on HQ.